also, so we know it's superior third. And then the adventitia. I won't ask you these layers of the esophagus. I would ask you this. Stratified squamous epithelium lining the mucosa. This is cool because this is where the esophagus will actually enter the stomach itself. So you've got this classic esophageal sphincter. I'd ask you that grossly. Okay, this is neat too, because this is where esophagus becomes stomach. So an open tube changes to the stomach, and microscopically, you can see how this is different than that. So this is all esophageal tissue. This is stomach tissue. So here we have the gastric glands. Show you, find a better one. So when we're in the stomach, there's the lumen, here's mucosa, and submucosa, and then muscularis, and then serosa. But I would ask that you know microscopically, these are gastric glands. I'll show you a better picture. There. This is one of the best stomach slides I've ever seen. And yours look just as good, some of them. They're gastric pits. And then you've got the gastric glands. See, like paper clips? Gastric glands are what I would ask you, because here is where you find the chief cells and the parietal cells that secrete peptidases and hydrochloric acid that digest proteins and lipids and nucleic acids, and then tear down the enzymes from the cell organs. So there's mucosa, muscularis mucosae, submucosa, muscularis externa, and serosa. But I would ask you, stomach and gastric glands. This is a beautiful view showing you gastric pits and gastric glands. And you can see how some of the cells stain lightly. Here are the cells that secrete hydrochloric acid. Some stain darkly. I won't ask you the difference. But you can see gastric glands. Then, when we're in the small intestine, we'll see the villi with the microvilli, and there's a model that you need to, I'll have out by the slide. I'll only use the slides, but the models are pretty good. Because you can see the villi with the microvilli. You can see these lacteals, these lymphatic vessels, plus arteries and veins. Then we have these intestinal crypts between the villi. We know these increase absorptive surface area. So there's mucosa, muscularis mucosae, submucosa, muscularis externa, the circular longitudinal, and then serosa. When you look at the microscope, you'll see either duodenal glands or Peyer's patches, but I would ask you those on a slide. And the reason is, when you're in the ileum, the lymphoid nodules that have T cells and B cells, right? So you're fighting pathogens. It looks like cotton candy. So these are Peyer's patches, known as lymphoid nodules, vice versa. So this is the ileum. Mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, and you don't see the serosa. That's muscularis mucosa. When you're in the duodenum, well, we know first of all it's small intestine because there are villi. 1, 2, 3. See those 3 villi? Surrounding it are the microvilli. So this is one plica. So you get the plicae circularis, you cut it, you see the villi and the microscopically microvilli. But what we can see are these gastric, or these duodenal glands in this area. This is even better. So we know it's small intestine. There's the lumen. This, remember you already looked at simple columnar epithelium. So that's, when we looked at that slide 40, that's what we were looking at a closer view. Those are villi with microvilli and goblet cells. So this is mucosa, muscularis mucosae, submucosa, and those are the duodenal glands. So the question would be, identify this area specifically in the alimentary canal. The answer is duodenum, or proximal small intestine. What are the structures? Duodenal glands. And for completion's sake only, the colon is relatively smooth walled. When you put your finger in it, it's smooth. You don't find villi, there are no plicae circularis. There are goblet cells. There are structures that will secrete things, but generally the colon exists to resorb water, preparing our bodies for defecation. If you don't absorb or resorb your water, you have diarrhea. That's serious. Do you know why? dehydrate. And they say, what was it, the WHO recently said that every hour, thousands, like 5,000 to 6,000 children die somewhere in the world from diarrhea because they're dehydrated. So it's terrible. It's a real thing. So we always say, it's not a big deal. Even here, if we aren't hydrating and we have diarrhea type diseases, we can pass away. So you know that, right? So you need to keep hydration up. And in little kids, that's a problem even in our society. So watch it. Some diseases will make it so that you're constantly releasing fluid, constantly defecating, and therefore people the fecal matter goes in the water supply, and then you get this horrendous epidemic or pandemic of disease. That's biological warfare. When people throw in like infected bodies, infected blankets and things, and then it kills entire civilizations. You know about that right here, like the smallpox blankets? It's just astonishing. So that's it. So colon, done. So I would absolutely look at some of those slides. I'll help you as you need it. And on Monday we'll do digestive 2, which is a much